Welcome to Beatsource Tech. My name's Mojaxx and today we're looking at the new updates for the Engine ecosystem, Engine OS 2.3 and Soundswitch 2.6. As always with Engine DJ updates, at least since version 2.0, there are three elements to look at. First, we'll look at the desktop software, as there isn't much in that this time around. Aside from a bunch of bug fixes, there are a couple of noteworthy things though. Firstly, they've improved the key detection accuracy and reduced the time it takes to export large libraries to media. And they've also made your choice of beat jump length one of the preference options when exporting to a drive. When it comes to Engine OS, the operating system on your hardware, things are quite similar. Bug fixes and the same key detection improvements, etc. Quantize is now a touchable icon on the toolbar, so you don't have to swipe down to access that, which I do like. And beat jump and auto loop size can now be adjusted independently. You hold shift and use the beat jump buttons to choose the length of that. This is a feature I'm very happy to see. I'm also happy that the Prime Go finally gets a computer mode, meaning it now works as a controller with Virtual DJ. This looks and works just like it does on the Numark Mixstream Pro, and indeed you're looking at the Mixstream Pro right now, as the right Virtual DJ build didn't arrive in time for me to film. I have tested it on the Prime Go since though, and it works just as well. So that would mean this episode would be very short indeed were it not for the changes in Soundswitch version 2.6, which is dropping at the same time. The headline here is Nanoleaf support, but before we get to that there are some other bits I need to mention, which will probably be more important to existing Pro users. In the software you can now adjust the library panel width, and the colour picker gives live feedback through your lights as you choose colours. There's some new stuff for Control 1 owners too. There's a new menu for next, previous and repeating auto loops in the menu, and feedback on the screen to see what each deck is doing. And most usefully, if you only use one DMX universe, you can now mirror the same universe to both DMX outputs on the Control 1. This is something I asked for when I reviewed the hardware. It helps all users get the absolute most out of their device, and so I'm delighted to see it implemented here. So with all that said, let's get on to the Nanoleaf support. Like the Philips Hue integration before it, this takes advantage of an existing home smart lighting system, essentially hijacking it for use with your scripted tracks and auto loops. There's no need to worry about any DMX programming, the software takes care of everything. One thing to note, whilst I guess there might be ways to bodge together a system for use on the road with a Wi-Fi router, this setup is all about home or studio use, whether for your own enjoyment, parties, or in my case, using on live streams. Nanoleaf, like Philips Hue, sit in the more premium end of the smart lighting market. Their products are sold in Apple stores, so that should give you an idea of where we're at. The company sent me a starter kit with their triangle-shaped panels, and some expansion packs with the hexagon-shaped panels too. Now, this setup is not cheap. There's around $300 worth of lights there, but overall the experience does feel pretty premium. Their app is well designed and easy to use, they have tools to help you decide on your layout, and installing the panels is very intuitive and straightforward. Running them standalone, there are countless options for colours, moving patterns and even audio reaction. The system can be a little fussy with its Wi-Fi connection, at least at first, but once you've got it set up, it's all smooth sailing. Connecting Soundswitch to the panels is simple with a new menu in the software, and the pairing process is quick. You won't need any additional hardware like the micro DMX interface to use the system, it's all wireless, but you will need an active license for the software, which can be had for $8 a month, $80 a year, or you can buy a lifetime license for $200. I should point out that you can use Nanoleaf and Hue products with Soundswitch at the same time, so you're not tied to just one integration. So here's the thing with the Nanoleaf panels. There is a reason they're seen in the background of countless YouTube videos, and that's because they look absolutely awesome. And crucially, they look great on camera, not just in person. You don't have to fiddle around with shutter speeds or anything to avoid flickering, which is always a concern with LED lighting. And whether the room is dark or well lit, they still look really good. You can see the colours of the panels do look slightly different on camera from the throw they put onto the wall, but that's the nature of filming. They're also very bright, illuminating the room they're in very nicely. I did like the Philips Hue integration and I use it for my streams at home, but it's always been a touch underwhelming, mainly because every light in the system does the same thing. That's not the case with the Nanoleaf panels though, as the integration features chases, cool alternating strobe effects, and all of the other stuff which I'd hoped that Hue would do, but doesn't. Are there any downsides to the setup? Well, the delay between signals being sent from Soundswitch and received by the panels does seem a touch longer than with Hue, but not dramatically so, and that's something Soundswitch could perhaps tweak in a future update. And the way the automatic chases work does seem to do some unexpected things with colours compared to what you might expect, but that doesn't really matter when things look this good. I did also try the Nanoleaf integration directly with engine hardware, which removes the need for a computer in the setup, and that also worked great. As with Philips Hue, you pair the hardware directly with your panels over Wi-Fi, and then everything was smooth in my testing. What I don't have any information on at this time is exactly which Nanoleaf products work with this setup. They have a large range from regular bulbs through strips and more, but all I can say for sure is that the shaped panels work. So if you already have some of their products or want to build something from scratch, make sure you check with Soundswitch for compatibility info first. So would I recommend buying the Nanoleaf and Soundswitch combo? Absolutely. Entry price is high, they do mini panels, but you're best off with a regular starter pack, which is around $200 for the triangles or hexagons. Visually, they're just on a different level to the Hue integration thanks to the chases, and they'll look fantastic in the background of any live stream or performance video. So there you go, a look at Engine OS 2.3 and Soundswitch 2.6. On the engine side of things, there's nothing really dramatic here, no headline grabbing stuff, but it's all nice quality of life improvements, the kind of stuff that I like to see being rolled out by companies on a regular basis, and that's what we're getting. So all good there, and it will work with whatever engine hardware you have, from, you know, the Mixstream Pro right up to the SC6000 players. It's all covered, so go ahead, get it downloaded right away. Excellent. On the Soundswitch side of things, it is easy to be distracted by the shiny Nanoleaf stuff, which, let's face it, is very cool. I've been very impressed by that, more so than the Philips Hue integration, because it just looks better. It does more. So whilst it is still very expensive to get yourself a load of Nanoleaf panels, yeah, I think the investment is probably a better option if you don't have a smart lighting system already. I think Nanoleaf for your Soundswitch is the way to go. But it's important to remember that Soundswitch haven't just focused on that kind of stuff, which is great for home use and streaming and what have you. They've also thought about the professional users, people who are using Soundswitch at gigs. So those changes to the Control 1, for example, the ability to mirror that DMX universe, all of that stuff, really nice to see as well. So they are thinking about all of their users, and I'm happy for that. As for the comments this week, I'd love to hear from you guys and girls. Are you engine users? Are you Soundswitch users? What hardware do you use with those setups? And what features would you like to see come to the ecosystem in future? Do let us know. Thank you for watching this episode of Beatsource Tech. I do hope you've enjoyed it or found it useful. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. I'll see you next time.